Thank you for joining today. Today's session is Pre-Sales Part 1, where you will learn about Hanwha as a company and the camera products, how to select the camera product, how to do storage calculation. This is a certified session as well. So after the class, you will get a link by email to do a short exam. You can do the exam in 2 to 3 days. It's up to you. And once you complete the exam, you'll get certified. More details you will receive by email. All right, so today please focus on the session. This is one of the most important session because we start with Hanwha as a company. We talk about the camera technologies and model numbering and so on. Hanwha as a company, Hanwha Group, in one single statement, Hanwha is a Fortune 500 company. What's a Fortune 500 company? How many companies are there in the world? Too many, right? If you put all the companies in the world, all of them together, the top 500 companies, some of them comes to your mind as Facebook, Apple, and so on. Yes, in the list of top 500, Hanwha is ranked as one of them. All right. Next, within South Korea, we are the eighth largest company. Now, Hanwha is a group. There are many subsidiaries under Hanwha Group. So it's a brand name, Hanwha as a brand name, and many subsidiaries. The subsidiary which makes CCTV components, system, access control, software, and so on is Hanwha Techwin. One of the subsidiary is defense. We manufacture aerospace and ground military vehicles. And not only that, there are other subsidiaries such as insurance, such as solar, chemicals, petrochemicals, shopping centers, resorts, and so on. There are many subsidiaries under the group name Hanwha. All right. Now we will focus on what is Wisenet. All right. Some of you might have seen the label Wisenet. So we will see the explanation on what is Wisenet, how is it related to Hanwha TechWin. It's very simple. The name of the product is called Wisenet. So if you open any box, if you see the camera logo, if you open the data sheets, you see the word Wisenet. Wisenet is the product name, such as how to understand this better. Hanwha is the group name. One of the subsidiaries is Hanwha Techwin, right? It's making CCTV and access. We also will be launching intercom system, parking solution system, ANPR solution, audio management. So we are diversifying our product profile and not only CCTV and access control, right? Then under Hanwha Techwin, the product name is called Wisenet. So whenever you buy a camera, the logo will be Wisenet. It is manufactured by Hanwha Techwin, owned by Group Hanwha Group. How to understand this? It's like this. If you buy a Samsung mobile phone, it is owned by the group Samsung. It is manufactured by Samsung Electronics, and the product name is Galaxy series, and you are buying S20 or Note or A series or so on, something like that. So you have Galaxy series. Under that, you have different flavors: S20, S20 Ultra, or with the pen, S Pen, and so on. Note. So same way we have under Wisenet, which is similar to Galaxy, we have Q series, X series, P series, L series, depending on what the customer requires. Not everyone requires camera with uh, I mean, a mobile phone with four cameras. Not everyone requires a pen, stylus on the mobile phone. Not everyone requires a tab. So same way, depending on the product that you require for your use, you can buy from the series. So in CCTV, not everyone requires multi-sensor cameras. So we have a different series. Same way in commercial, not everyone requires a tab. You're okay with the phone. So you get the idea. That's how we group our products. We are a South Korean company. We are a South Korean company based in Seoul. All right. When did we start? We started in 1991, roughly 30 years. Okay. We started out as a Samsung. If you see, look at our head office, it has a Samsung logo, of course. Yeah, it started out as Samsung. Under Samsung, there was a division called Samsung Techwin, which was manufacturing CCTV and some defense equipments. So Hanwha, when it acquired, it renamed it to Hanwha Techwin. So that's the only thing. Um, so this is our R&D facility. One of the buildings is for defense, one of the buildings is for CCTV. So we were originally merged as one team. Hanwha Defense and CCTV was one big team. And here we go. In 2015, uh, if you look at the building, so you will have Hanwha. Just Hanwha purchased. What did it purchase? The building, patent, people, everything was acquired by Hanwha Group. All right. Hanwha did not buy only CCTV. Hanwha purchased Samsung, some of the petrochemical division and the defense division of Samsung, so and CCTV. So it was a major acquisition, not just CCTV. Hanwha was already a stronghold when it comes to defense, so they became a bigger uh, in that market. Samsung in 2013, right? I was working in 2012 in Samsung, by the way, and after that I moved to other company called Schneider Electric. Then I came back to Hanwha. So that's when they launched Galaxy S5. So that was a turning point for Samsung. They wanted to focus more on commercial as B2C consumer market, sorry, where mobile phones to be specific, all right. So they wanted to get let go of some of the industrial businesses like petrochemicals and defense and other things. So Hanwha was already a major uh, player in this region, so they took over all these divisions. Then, um, in the last 5, 6 years, all the cameras that you see are after the acquisition. In fact, there are many products that were launched in it when it comes to technology implementation, being in the front line of CCTV technology. Hanwha has adopted it almost 2 to 3 years in advance compared to other premium vendors. I am a witness to that, and I have worked with different brands. So when it came to H.265 adoption, Hanwha was the first one to adopt. When it came to artificial intelligence, Hanwha was one of the first ones to adopt in the premium market. So not only just one part of the solution. For example, some customers, some vendors will adopt H.265 in some of the cameras and not in the NVR or VMS. So, however, Hanwha adopted it camera, NVR, VMS all together. Same way in artificial intelligence, camera, NVR, VMS. So we're not giving a half-cooked solution. It was a full solution. So that's how we are always in the, when it comes to developing new products and providing the latest for our customers. Not only that, we have our own manufacturing facility. Some of the lenses are you cannot find it even in other brands because when it comes to CCTV lenses, uh, we share with our defense team. They have an optronics division for manufacturing lenses. Then chipset in the camera, we manufacture them. The camera body, lens, the software, everything is owned and developed by Hanwha. We have our R&D power for it. All right. Even fabrication, chip mounting. Hanwha has a robotics team. Hanwha has chip mounting. We actually manufacture machines if you want to make your own chips. So it's all in-house. So this is one of our key strengths when it comes to Hanwha. All right. And all right. Let's quickly, in 5, 10 minutes, just give you a brief. When it comes to WDR, Hanwha has got one of the highest WDR rating. WDR is wide dynamic range, 150 dB. Then there are cameras with built-in analytics, artificial intelligence analytics to pick up humans and cars, such as in this video. The camera can pick up a car, the attributes of the car, type of the car, and a person, what color shirt is wearing, and so on. So these are built in into the camera, not separate analytics with Hanwha VMS or third-party VMS. Then what other analytics appear, disappear, object is missing, someone crossing the line, someone entering a zone. Instead of a line, you draw a box, someone entering or exiting a zone, someone covering the camera, and face detection. If there is a person in the scene, maybe car is allowed, person is not allowed. So these are the analytics that are built in into the camera. All right. Is it available in all the series? No, it is split across series, and some series has everything. So we will see that. So you're more clear on which product has what you require. Audio analytics are also available in the cameras. Roughly 15 plus analytics are available in the camera itself. And this is for X series, by the way. It is built in into the camera. All right. Now, the objective of analytics is to do investigation. Whenever you have analytics activated on the camera, you want to figure out who was the first person to enter, who was the last person to enter. You can use the VMS to do a search by drawing a line and inserting a condition saying, show me all the people who were in this zone in the last 1 day or 2 day. So it will search and give you all the results. You click on it and the video starts playing from that point. So analytics is not only to give you an alarm if someone is crossing, but it can also be used post analysis. Maybe you don't want alarms, you just want to do investigation if something goes wrong. So you can do it even on the recorded video. So for that, you have to enable analytics on the camera. Okay, for those who have not seen this video, the video is if you use AI camera, what you can get. If you use AI cameras, you can search for specific person by his shirt color or his pant color or his gender or age group. Some of the common requests, some of the common requests is how to find a missing child, or I'm looking for a person wearing a red shirt, or I'm looking for a car, blue color car, and so on. So you don't have to forward and play back and wait and take time. The AI camera can quickly pull out those uh, video, recorded video, by just uh, searching for specific attributes. If you search for those specific attributes, the snapshot will be here. You can select on the snapshot and the video will play on the right side. Back to artificial intelligence. So the objective of artificial intelligence is to make life easier, to do investigation faster, and uh, also make things more secure. Crimes are getting solved sooner. All right. So here is where you search by age group. So you can look for gender, male, and a specific wearing glasses. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Then age group, middle age, and senior group. So it will filter them by age group. It helps. So when we trained the camera, we trained not just a human being, we also trained by age groups. So um, it helps on the real life situation when you want to look for a specific group, age group person. All right. You can also search by car. Let's say I'm looking only for a truck. So it's showing me all the bus and everything. So I filter out by truck and then I click on this video. Maybe this is the truck I'm looking for. When I click on it, the video plays on the right side, and you will see when the truck was uh, seen in the area, in the vicinity. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, now AI camera can also do counting. It can count people, it can count cars. There are many projects where we are going to do accident detection, um, detection if someone drops a garbage on the road. So the same camera which is monitoring the street can also do additional functions. There was another requirement when a vehicle is stopped in the bus stop for more than a minute, more than 5 minutes, they wanted an alarm. So the operator will be alerted why the vehicle is parked in the highway, in the bus stop for more than 5 minutes, or something like that. So there is videos for it. These are real-time proof of concept videos. If you are having such requirement, feel free to send us and we can assist you. If there is a new requirement, maybe you're looking for something different to solve using AI camera, let us know and see how we can solve that for you. Okay, so this is
Forget to wait for
occupancy
someone to leave.
monitoring. This was one of the highest demand during COVID time. You had only 100 people or 30 people allowed in a shop. Then there was someone stopping the guy. Okay, that limit is reached. Please do not enter, and so on. So the camera counts this by itself and automatically updates the interface. All right, so this is one. Then mask detection was another common requirement during the COVID time. People wearing a mask and or not wearing a mask, so they wanted to get an alert. If the person is not wearing, you get a video proof. All right, see, he has not worn a mask. So if someone is trying to fake it, it will pick it up also. All right. All right, integration. Now, all the can analytics that you saw, there is question on your mind. For some of you, you may be working only with our cameras and you are supplying the camera to a third-party VMS company or third-party NVR. All right. So if you have a requirement like that, you are covered because Hanwha works closely with third-party VMS manufacturers, not a namesake integration, but a deeper level. For example, with Milestone, we develop the plugin to install or to do the AI analytic search, searching by car, searching by color of the car and person and so on. And when it comes to Milestone, even with Genetech, we have done the same. So here is our okay, okay, all right. So this is one of our Excel sheet which we continuously track all the camera products. You will find since we started from the older days, all the IP cameras with Milestone, and we test every single feature. Camera, alarm input, alarm output, audio input, motion detection, dual stream support, video analytics, edge recording, SD card recording support. So we test it. The latest cameras are these ones in P series 2 megapixel, Q series newer PTZ models were released. So all these are continuously being tested. So we do this evaluation on a bi-weekly basis and we are closely tracking. So even before the product is released, they are integrated. All right, so we do the same with Genetech on SSI, AxonSoft, Digifort. So if ever you have anything, you can let us know. We can We can support them with cameras if we have people on the field, or we can send it to our whatever they need. If they want to integrate our camera, we will try to make an arrangement, either by remote or giving the camera to that vendor after some agreement, and then we will make sure it is integrated. So we are not closed. We don't want to be closed also because there are different companies that we work with, and overall, that is one of our strength as Hanwha. All right. Now, it is to the fact that if you search for Hanwha TechWin, the first thing that you see as an advertisement is even milestone. You see how they themselves are advertising using our name. So this is how we are working closely. In last 2 days, we were at the milestone event, demonstrating our integration with milestone and so on. All right, and this is a video of AI camera integration with milestone. I will quickly go forward. You can search for black color car. So here, vehicle black. Same with Genetech, and go forward. You can search for a male with wearing a yellow shirt and so on. So that can be done also in Genetech. Now, all these we are working closely. In fact, we developed the plugin for third-party VMS. Then, um, PTZ cameras, one of the highest zoom lenses, 4K 30x with Viper, 2 megapixel, 55x. In fact, we supply lenses to some brands which are uh, I mean, which many famous brands, because we develop lenses for the cameras. Okay, one of our strengths is we develop our own lenses, optical zoom lenses, and yeah. So this is a camera which is 2 megapixel 55x, which goes up to 500 meters. All right, because it uses variable zoom. Single cable, one cable with a, it will be supplied with a high PoE injector, and it can power the camera. Okay, and let's go forward. Next is PTRZ function. Now I'm going to cover some features, and they all come under extra version. They don't come under a standard model such as XPlus, PTRZ. These all come under a special version. Extra light, extra low light comes under a special version. So you should be aware about it, because I want you to select. If you need this, make sure you select it. Otherwise, if you don't want it, I don't want you to select this model and increase the price of your project. Okay, so here we go. Let me just check everything is okay. Right. All right. Extra low light. Now there are projects where your typical camera might look like the center picture, conventional 1 by 3 inch CMOS. The typical camera might look like the center picture. It's too dark, right? And you want more visibility, more color in the scene and so on. There are cameras called extra low light cameras, very sensitive to low light. There are cameras for that, so that can be used. Now, the reason for mentioning that is not all cameras will be extra low light. They will all have low light feature. They can definitely pick up color, but extra is this situation where, um, let's say, you're monitoring a beach. You want the ambience to have as low light as possible, or certain city surveillance or remote, um, industrial areas where the light is very minimal, bare enough, just enough to for humans to walk. okay, but may not be good enough for the cameras. So for those low light regions, there are some special cameras with bigger lenses. Next is X Plus. X Plus is for if you have a project where you want to save some time on the installation. The typical camera you have when you unbox it, you have to unscrew and take the dome drive and plug the Cat6 cable to set up the IP address. Whereas the X Plus, um, they come unboxed in a box, right? So in the box itself, they are separately packed with the hole just to plug the Cat6 cable to save you the time of unboxing. You can fix the IP address and send it to the installer, right? So there is some demand for these in certain countries, and also another feature called PTRZ. PTRZ is okay. All right. Imagine you mount the camera on the ceiling. After that, it keeps going back. Sorry for that. Imagine you mount the camera on the ceiling. After that, you do not want or you do not. Uh, apologies. Just a second. Okay. All right. Let's say you mount the camera on the ceiling, and uh, y- after you mount it, you're not sure where the camera should look at, all right? So maybe it should look slightly towards the right or towards the left or down, or the lens is slightly inclined or slanted. See, if when you don't have that flexibility, or if you're not sure where the camera is going to be focusing on, and if you want to save the time of putting a ladder, climbing up and opening the dome and adjusting the lens and moving the camera left and right, in those situations, there are cameras with a special motor called PTRZ motor. It is installed in the camera, so you can remotely go to the left, go to the right, as if you're physically moving the camera left and right. Okay, it's a normal dome camera, but you can achieve this function. Okay, it's not a PTZ, it cannot replace a PTZ. PTZ goes very long range distance and they move faster. These cameras are just for adjustment purpose. They can just go left, right, rotate, even rotate. Maybe the what you're seeing here, maybe the ceiling is slightly inclined. You can adjust that. All of this can take time, labor work to avoid, manual labor of fixing each and every camera. You can do it directly sitting in the control room. Okay, so that is one benefit. Again, quite popular in Europe and USA, where the labor cost is extremely high. So they go ahead and buy these cameras to save on the labor cost. Okay. Another feature that we have introduced is, or not introduced, we had it for a long time, is USB. USB means in the X series and above cameras, there is a small USB dongle. Sorry for that. There is a small USB port, and you can plug a Wi-Fi dongle in that USB port, and the camera will become a hotspot. Okay. Now let me rephrase this. Okay, after seeing the video, try to understand better. So this is a video where there is a Wi-Fi dongle. This guy is just directly connected to the camera and looking at the view, focusing it, adjusting it, and you can even do other settings. You can open the web page of the camera and do some settings also. So zoom in, out, take a photo, keep a record, and so on. So you don't have to call someone in the control room and say, go left, and then go right, go left. Uh, most, I mean, you get the feeling, right? Like you're telling something, there is a network lag and it moves slightly faster. And so you keep on adjusting this. So this can be done by yourself. And what is your additional cost? One of them is you have to have X series camera or P series camera. Other thing is a $20 USB dongle, which has this Wi-Fi, basically a Wi-Fi USB adapter. It's like you buy a Bluetooth adapter, right? You have to buy a Wi-Fi adapter. The thing is, this Wi-Fi adapter you can buy just for one installer. Only one person requires it, and every camera is fixing. You can quickly check, install. It doesn't have to wait for the network to be ready. And no need to worry about which IP address is set or not. Directly plug in, just like you share your internet from one phone to another phone, hotspot. Same way, the camera will become like a hotspot. You can connect to the camera Wi-Fi, access the camera web page, video, live view, everything. You can even do a quick recording and fix the camera. That's it. So the Wi-Fi dongle is TP-Link, Edimax. There are 5, 6 brands we support. You can use any of that. Once you finish, you can switch off the Wi-Fi USB support. You can disable it. But anyhow, if you have to access, you have to open the camera to access. So that's possible. All the cameras in Hanwha have a Ystream technology. Ystream compresses the video, right? Think of it this way. Many countries we have to record 24 hours. Motion, no motion doesn't matter. You must record 24 hours. In those countries, the storage is a major cost. And Ystream is a technology which compresses during idle time. During idle time, when the scene is not active, it will reduce the video bandwidth. Okay. And when there is a scene is active, it will go back to the original bandwidth. So it helps save a lot of storage. One of the example was a customer who bought camera for his office for 1 month. He got 6 to 7 months of storage because after working hours, it is recording, but at a lower bandwidth. All right, because there is no complexity in the scene, same view. Um, no need to spend extra fuel or inject more bandwidth. Okay, and again, we have one model called PoE Extender camera. Now, the reason for covering all this is I have seen many of the attendees when they answer the exam, they go ahead and put the most expensive model. For example, this camera. It's when I say the most expensive, I mean, don't take it in the very basic understanding. Okay, expensive that nobody can afford. It's not like that. Imagine you need a pen, but you buy a Mont Blanc pen, right? Something like that. You don't need, or you buy, if you need a small phone for calling, but you buy a big laptop for it. It can also do some calling, maybe put a SIM card, but it doesn't make sense. If an engineer is looking at it, or if a Hanwha representative or someone who knows the product is looking at it, it will be an overkill design. Right. So this is our job as designers, and that's why you're here for the training. So you have to choose the right product. You can take into consideration some future requirements, but you should not simply go ahead and quote the most expensive camera. Of course, it will meet all the low-end requirement, but the price it cannot meet. Maybe the customer doesn't need it, right? So this is why you have to know which product to go where, right? Next, we have a camera called PoE Extender camera, and in order to choose this camera, you have to add one letter E. If you see here, there is a letter E. I will put a circle around it so you know this one. Okay, there's a letter E. Just this letter will make this camera an extender camera, which means camera 1 can give power to another can give power to camera number 2. Camera number 1 will take from a PoE plus switch. Okay, need not be injected, just a PoE plus switch. You can go up to 100 meters, power the first camera, then from here there is a loop out which will power another camera or any other PoE device, doesn't matter, for up to 80 meters. Two separate IP address. All right. If you have a project where cabling is already laid and you don't have option to pull another cable or an old infrastructure building, so these cameras are make the project more affordable. All right. If they don't have, so now think of a situation, you have two cables already pulled, you have two network ports already installed, everything is done, and you buy this camera. Now you make the project more expensive because you are adding a feature which the customer does not require. All right. However, in the right application, this will save a lot of cost because the customer don't have a provision to buy another switch or lay more cables, conduits, and so on. I hope you get the point. Okay. PTZ Plus. PTZ Plus is a group of cameras. It's a new generation model, completely re-engineered. Um, it starts from 2 mega 40x. The older generation is 2 megapixel 55x, still available, one of the highest in the market. This is 2 mega 40x, 4K 30x, 6 megapixel 30x. So if we look back, roughly roughly 1 year back, we only had one 4K or one or two 4K models, and then 2 megapixel, lots of PTZs. But today we have 6 mega option, multiple 4K 30x option, again one of the highest, 2 megapixel 40x option, and one more with a wiper. Okay, so uh, this is a 4K video. At 1 kilometer, you can get a 4K video. After zooming in, still it is 4K, right? Now you're looking through WebEx, so I don't know how much you are able to see the quality. It's a 4K image. It's one of the brightest 4K lenses is developed by Hanwha Techwin. Many customers may have, many brands may have 4K, but if you remember f-stop, some of you attended a video foundation course. One of the lowest f-stops for the brightest image is available only in Hanwha Techwin. Okay, then the PTZ camera can now look upwards. The typical dome camera can only look eye level. Now this guy can also look upward. So more coverage. You don't need another camera maybe on top of a pole or to look at a certain if there is something blocking or you want to see a bridge on the top. You don't need another camera there. The same camera can also do some more work. All right. So that is one. Next is wiper. You saw the wiper there. It can clean itself. Okay, then it has auto tracking, but with an AI chip inside to track car or human. Okay, let's then before we go to the core pre-sales, then there is a series of cameras under multi-sensor. Okay, now we are just going through all the key points, and then we are going to make it simpler. Okay, hopefully just before the break or after the break, we are going to whatever we learned, we are going to summarize it and learn in groups. So right now we're just covering what all is available. So this is the four sensor camera, four images stitched together as one single panoramic image. You can see from one end of the scene to the other end of the scene. Multi-direction. Direction means two different direction. One camera can look in different direction, other one in another angle, another area. But although they are four camera, four separate SD card, four separate analytics, four separate lens options, but they take one cable, okay, for power and one license. With us or with Malson or Genetech, doesn't matter, only one license required. Four camera with a PTZ. Now, these cameras, why I did mention a little bit more, usually I run through this. Right now, if you see 2021, the trend for multi-direction camera is slowly catching up. I know at the end of the day, who decides? End user decides. Budget decides the project. Now, as more and more end users are getting exposed and more becoming more aware of these products, and how they can make their project more beautiful, maybe aesthetically, just one camera, one cable, look at four directions, and reduce the complexity of multiple cameras in the site and so on. So we are seeing a lot of inquiries coming in our region. In Europe and US, we won the buyers award for this camera, Homeland Security Award for this camera. They have already adopted it because it reduces labor cost. But in other regions where Labor cost not high, and regulations are driving the market. These cameras are still catching up, but once they realize the benefit of it, definitely yes, they are going for it. Some of the main projects today are certain government projects, museums, exhibition halls, and ports. They have started, utilizing these cameras. City surveillance, they've started utilizing or migrating from the old method to these cameras. Okay, and let's go forward. Okay, now now let's take a step back and see. Now you have learned about WDR analytics, and you saw the different AI analytics, artificial intelligence analytics, low light cameras, extender camera, PTZ Plus camera, multi-sensor camera. Okay, you saw all of that. Now, do you need everything in one project? No. Every project is different. Inside the project, different areas require different cameras. Entrance cameras may require a longer lens. Entrance camera may require adjustable lenses, sometimes longer zoom lenses, sometimes extra analytics. Other storage room and lobby cameras, you can use the basic lens and or lower WDR or higher WDR, you can opt for that. Then if you're looking at incident, you want to look for certain incidents on the outdoor area, you would probably have some PTZ cameras, right? And if for operational purposes, let's say you have warehouses and different directions there are, equipments placed, you would look for multi-direction cameras to cover different locations from with one cable, one camera. For city surveillance, you might have PTZ cameras, then stainless steel cameras, and so on. All right. So that is just a gist of what a project might require. All right. Now, let's see. Go just a second. Seventh. Okay. Okay. All right. I will write it down. So whenever you take any project, there are a few things that will decide what camera to choose. First thing is resolution of the camera. This is the most important question you should ask. What is the resolution of camera in this project? One of the toughest questions the consultant has to decide before even designing the project. Today he designed with 2 megapixel. Tomorrow he wants to make it 5 megapixel. Then he can reduce a lot of cameras. So but storage will increase. So it's a very tough question. Even before designing, the customer or the consultant has to decide what resolution he's going to use for the project. Okay. And he cannot simply change it because the quantity of camera will change, the storage design will change, bandwidth, everything will change depending on the resolution. Most of the projects are today 2 mega or 5 mega. But what is the lens required? A fixed lens. You cannot adjust, already fixed, or adjustable lens. Varifocal, adjustable lens. Where do you need varifocal? Usually, any cameras used for identification, looking at a person's face to capture his identification details, for forensic details, you need varifocal lenses. All entrances, drop-off areas, parking areas. Parking areas not the driveway, entry and exit areas, but other general monitoring, people will use either fixed cameras, fixed lens cameras, depending on the cost or budget. Okay. So in your project, in any project, you will have a combination of fixed and varifocal or only varifocal. Why would you have a combination of fixed and varifocal? Because every project will have an entrance. Okay. So you will require some kind of lens to zoom in. So you need adjustable lens. A fixed lens, um, a fixed lens is also is used in a lobby area waiting area where you are just looking at as wide as possible. Whatever the camera sees, well and good. It can see across the street, no problem, well and good. So there are areas where you want to see as wide as possible. A fixed lens with 2.8 mm or 2.4 mm will do the job. But an entrance camera, you are focusing on details of someone coming through the entrance. Okay, so um, let's just switch to a slightly different screen to get some more engagement going on. So here we go. 192.168.1.0. Let's go ahead. Okay, TNF. Okay, I'm going to show you two cameras, and you will see the objective behind these two cameras. Camera number one is supposed to look at the entire training area. Whatever it can see from the door, there is one door here, someone opened it, some table here, someone used this area, and so on. It is seeing the entire room. But if someone is walking in through the door, maybe you cannot see the face very clearly. Someone is coming out here, maybe you can see, but the door on the left side, you cannot see very clearly, right? Then you have another camera, which is this bullet camera, looking at the door. The objective of this camera is to look for a person coming through the door and get his facial detail very, very clear, right? So, okay, so here we go. Okay, and all right. So we talked about varifocal lens. Then there are projects which you need more analytics, or sometimes you don't need any analytics. There are projects where you have to decide between indoor camera and outdoor camera. What is outdoor camera? IP66. Indoor camera, no need for IP66. So these are the parameters whenever a customer is asking for a, or whenever you choose a camera. What is the resolution? Okay. What is the lens? What is the analytics required, whether indoor or outdoor? What is the shape of the camera? Is it indoor, dome camera, or a bullet camera, and so on? All right. So these are the parameters which will be used for designing the or choosing the camera model. Okay. Now, okay. One more thing, IR range, whether camera require IR and so on. Okay. Now, here you see four major series. Okay, this is the most important part. Please try to focus on this one. Four major series, Q, X, P, and T. And then there is one minor series, L series. Okay, what's the difference? Okay, and we will go for the break. Q series, it has six analytics. Q series has six analytics. Security focused, commonly asked analytics, crossing the line, entering a zone, intrusion, motion, covering the camera. So whatever is more important to you, already covered in Q series. X series has something more than what Q series can offer. Tracking, fog detection, someone removed an object, something that you don't really need all the time, but it has. Or if you need a longer lens, X series. If you need stainless steel shape cameras, construction housing construction camera, or extremely small microdome cameras, ATM pinhole camera, X series. All right. So Q series, you will find dome. This is the dome, bullet camera, and some PTZ. most common shape you will find in Q. If you need some special shape, special lens, more IR range, we will see that you will find it in X series. Okay. Now, what about P? P series, one more thing, X series will have 15 analytics. Next, P series. P series is for multi-sensor camera. Any camera more than one lens, P series. Cameras having artificial intelligence, P series. All right. So to summarize, most of the projects will be a combination of Q and X because that's what standard they require. Dome camera, bullet camera. Some projects, special lens, higher WDR, they will go with X series. That's it. Projects with multi-direction will have P series. Projects with artificial intelligence will have P series. Right. Then thermal camera, explosion-proof cameras for special market, oil and gas, city surveillance, border security. You will find it in T series. Okay. What about L series? L series is also coming up. It comes under the Q series. Only two shapes. No PTZ options in L series. A basic camera, else dome and bullet. Two options are available. It has motion detection. It has tamper analytics, someone covering the camera. It has two analytics and it has adjustable lens option. And what it does not have, we will see in the coming slides. All right. So four major series. And when it comes to pricing, L is affordable compared to Q. Q is more affordable compared to X. X is affordable compared to P. And P and T, you can see almost similar pricing. Okay. So this is the pricing. If you have to go with a cost-effective model, whenever there is a project specification given to you, first you can start with, all right, see whether LQ can fit. All right. Then, if not, go with X. However, if you have a project where you know you're going to fight against a competition who's having a lot of features, you need to show yours a superior camera. Or if you want to give the best camera to the best camera, latest one, all the features available today to the customer, or customer says design the project according to how you see fit for the best of his operational requirement. Then you have the flexibility to choose between QXP. Okay, you can use more of X and some Q and some P and so on. All right, and X series is called versatile series. All right, the reason for that is today if you design a project and tomorrow you want to make some changes to the analytics, X series we can add or remove something if you want. If you want a special shaped camera, we can inject into the X series. Even in Q, hardware wise, we can make some changes. Right. So there was a customer who said, I want external power option in the Q series camera for one model which it did not have. We could add it. So there were some changes we can add it. But if they ask for more analytics in the Q series, because it comes under X, right? It already has six analytics. It's already full. If you add more, uh, no, it cannot. So that's why we have a different series altogether, X series. If you want, we can add more, or if you don't want, we can remove and so on. So it's called versatile series. Tries to fit into every environment, tries to give you flexibility, something that you may need in the future also. Okay, because it uses a higher processor, higher higher storage and everything. It has dual SD cards. It has a USB slot for the dongle, and it uses uh, it uses more of a specialized lens. Q series 3 to 10 is, you can say, it's a mass production. Okay. But X series, it will always be better than someone else. Even if you try to compare with any camera today, it will have a better lens or it will have higher IR, 50 meters of IR. So it will always try to be above the normal. That is your X series. P series, it is premium, artificial intelligence, multi-direction. All right, LCDs, standard dome bullet camera for coverage. All of them come from our own R&D team, so you don't have to think, all right, one L camera was not good. It's not that. L camera will not have analytics. L camera will not have a higher processor for H.265. So those are the things taken off to reduce the price, but we do not compromise. Okay, the image will be so poor you cannot see. It's not like that. That's not how we work. There are many countries with city surveillance. They use L series. Okay, so it depends on what the application is, and it depends if it suits the purpose. It can work. All right, and we will see the comparison here. I have put out a summary, so we will go through it to make more concrete difference between them, and you will have more clearer idea to take the call. So that slides will help. So we'll take a break and we will come back and catch up. Check, check. Okay, we will continue now. Okay, okay. So T series cameras which look like explosion proof, look like this. Thermal cameras, special corner mount camera, city surveillance, box style PTZ cameras, and these cameras are not commonly used in hotel environments. They are more uh, intimidating, they're more intrusive because the camera shapes and the size is very big. It gives the objective is also to physically say that you are being monitored. So these cameras are quite big in terms of size and weight. Even first one is around 10 to 15 kgs. This one is around 25 kg. These are standard camera like a bullet cameras. This one is for prison market. People cannot tie a rope around it. Sometimes they use to tie a rope around any object. There's no sharp corners because this thing goes to the corner of the wall and all they see is just the circle, right? It has a mic. It has a hidden IR. Hidden IR means no red color light. It's called covert IR and wide angle lens, anti-ligature, which is where you cannot tie a rope, no sharp objects to hurt yourself. So these are very special application cameras. Not every project requires it, right? We don't build a prison every year. We don't build a perimeter border security. You don't get a project every month. Once a year. Explosion proof, once every 2 to 3 years. The project itself takes 5 years to build a pipeline or a offshore rig and so on. City surveillance, also not only recurring maintenance or every year one project, something like that. So these are not something uh, you quote every day. Okay, so these are the projects. They fall under T series. P series, you are clear that anything to do with multi-direction or AI falls under P series. Now, if you see these dome, before we had, um, you can say almost 2 years back, we have in X series there was no 4K. Only in P series there was 4K. But today we launched 4K in the X itself, like last year, I believe. So you don't have to go to P series anymore. So that's why these one 4K PTZ no longer something fancy on P series. You can find it in X. So resolution is not the main difference between series. Nowadays it's all about features. Okay, P multi-direction cameras, four direction cameras, two direction cameras. If you're working on exhibition halls, definitely try to look at these projects, these cameras. They will solve a lot of issues or requirements. Warehouses, these cameras really solve a purpose. Okay, then city surveillance, you can look at the four direction with a PTZ camera. So you have eyes everywhere. Okay, All right, let's look at X series. X series is where you'll find something above the standard. You have long range PTZ camera, you have Viper PTZ camera, you have bullet camera, that's okay. That is fine, normal. You have pinhole camera for ATMs, hidden monitoring, covert monitoring. You have transportation cameras, IP6K, 9K for very high rugged requirements, for mounting on the vehicles, taxis, and so on. Stainless steel cameras for um, corrosive environment, chemical factories, food factory, so on. Um, Fisheye, nowadays you have it in Q also. Even box camera is now available in Q. Previously it was only in X. Then microdomes, again, previously only in X we had microdomes. Now you have even in Q series. But the difference will be Q series will have 6 analytics, X series will have 15 analytics. Okay. Now Q series, the standard shapes, dome, bullet, and basic PTZ. Basic means 25x, 30x PTZ, which is actually good. And before we did not have IR, now we have IR in Q PTZ, the not the dome, PTZ. For IR, you had to go to X before. Now in Q itself, you have IR PTZ. All right. Then dome and bullet cameras. It uh, it comes in 2 mega, 4 mega, 5 megapixel options. There are some 4K models even in Q series. L. L only available in 2 megapixel, not above 2. If you need more than 2 mega, cannot go with L. Standard only two shapes, dome and bullet. No PTZ options and so on. All right. Now, how do you know which series your camera belongs to? The starting letter will tell you. X and D. X means X series, Q means Q series. Okay. Now, N. N represents IP camera, network. If it is anything other than N, it's not an IP camera. It could be analog or could be something else, but it's not IP camera. D represents shape of the camera. What all shapes we saw? We saw dome, D, bullet, we have a shape called O, one body, um, P for PTZ, F fisheye, and M for multi-sensor. So we will see that letters. You don't have to memorize anything. We have tools to help you out. So just know one thing, third letter is for shape. If you know that, it is more than enough for now. Uh, all the tools, all the catalogs, they have all the information such as which letter goes to what does it mean? All the data is available at fingertips. So you don't have to keep it on your head. What you have to know is which location gives you shape, because sometimes you are, for example, you in your project, you will work with only two shapes, most likely two or three shapes, dome bullet. So at least you should know, okay, D means once you once you look through it once, at least you should know, okay, this is dome camera, so put it in the ceiling. Bullet camera, okay, put it outside. So at that much judgment you should be able to make. All right. Um, okay. Then we will see. Then comes resolution 6. What 6 means? It means 2 mega, but we will have catalogs which explains that. So what you should know for your project, if your country you need 5 megapixel, then if someone gives you 2 mega, it's something that is wrong. So you should remember probably number 8. For some country, you need 5 megapixel recording. Okay, so number 8. So if I see a quotation with 6, so it should strike an alarm, strike a bell saying, okay, this customer has not understood the regulation itself, what resolution is needed for my project, and he has quoted 2 megapixel although I need 5 megapixel. So that much judgment you should be able to make, and to do that you should know which resolution, which digit represents which resolution, the first digit. Okay, now all said and clear, there are some common mistakes. One is, what about this too? All right, all so far everything was single digit, but now two digits represent lengths, not single, two digits. 01 means fixed lengths, fixed F, fixed lengths. Then we have 08. 08 means adjustable lens. If you don't know what lens you want, go with 08. If you know for a fact you need wide angle, fixed view, just a luggage room, waiting area, and no need to zoom in, zoom out, just a fixed view. You can go 0, 1. Otherwise, go with 0, 8 for adjustable lens. We call it varifocal lens. Now, under varifocal lens, there is one more cost-effective option called 0, 7. It is also same varifocal, but what you could not do is, you remember I was able to zoom in and out. For example, where is my AnyDesk? 1 second. Rotating. Okay. This particular camera, I can zoom in and out, but remotely I'm doing this without going to the camera physically and rotating the lens. So that is called 08, motorized varifocal lens. There is a motor which you can control remotely. Then we have 07, which means manual adjustable lens. You have to go, open the drive, open the dome bubble, and there is a knob. You have to rotate the knob or rotate the lens. So zoom in and zoom out. Physically, you should go. Again, it saves maybe $10-20 in the pricing, but yes, there are some projects where if that makes a difference, they go with that option. But doesn't make the camera lower in specs or analytics or resolution, nothing like that, just the lens option. Okay. Then zero version. Most of the projects you have to go with zero version. If it is not available, then you go to 1 or 2. Otherwise, do not go with higher versions because they will have feature like extra lux. You don't need extra lux. Then they might have feature like PTRZ. You don't need PTRZ for general project. Or they might have extender option. Again, you may not require that. All right. Or maybe the camera has got a compressed shape or a smaller shape. Some customization was done. You may not need it. So go with version 0 unless and until you don't find 0, you can go with version 1 or 2. Okay. 1 or 2 are a higher or an upgraded model or a newer model. It is not a replacement. Sometimes you have 0, sometimes you have 1. That time go with 0. So when to go with version 1 or 2, let our team recommend you. If you have a doubt, you can check the data sheet and ask us, should I go with version 2? Um, you can say 90% of the time it's usually, uh, you know, additional features, different versions, okay? And very few, it's a replacement model. Okay, next. Okay, right now, what is your takeaway is as much as possible, go with 0 version. And if 0 is not available, then go with version 1 or 2. All right. Next is R. R is for IR. Now, if you see the letter here closely, it is called additional feature. Additional means optional. So your model number in technical words, it finishes here, or as we call it, technically it finishes here. These are optional. If you want IR, add R. If you don't want IR, let go of R. You will get a camera without IR. All right. So you have to be careful. One more thing is, it does not stop with one letter. You can have R, you can have REV, you can have RS, you can keep adding more letter to increase extra additional features which may not be required for your project. So lower the letter, lower the additional price that you add. And the only additional letter that I would recommend for common projects is R for IR. Okay, if the model there is no one just R, maybe RV, only this is available, it's okay. But if you have R and RV or RVS, some extra option, or RVSM, just additional options, just go with R. Okay. Okay, the additional letters will sometimes not be compatible with your project. Maybe it's a special model. It's used only for certain model of NVR or something like that. So go with the basic model. All right. Now, X, it can be Q or X. Okay, let me pull out the L series. Just a second. Here we go. What's the difference between L and Q? Look for the orange letter to understand the difference. L and Q. Okay. L, maximum resolution available in that series is 2 mega. Whereas in Q, you can find more than 2, 5 MP, 2 MP, 6 MP, fisheye, so on. Some 4K option also is available. 4K fisheye also is introduced. Okay. So the difference is if your project requires more than 2 mega, you cannot start with L, you start with Q. Done. Next, L series don't have H.265. Okay, it's the processor does not have H.265 support. So start with H.26 Q series if you have a larger number of cameras, because H.265 will save storage and it will offset the cost for the camera itself. Okay, H.265. That's why most projects we generally say start with Q. Uh, you know, a lot of cameras like 50, 60 and above cameras, Q is fine. Otherwise, it's okay. Then construction, if you want metallic construction, it starts with Q. But this one, you don't have to take a lot of tension. If the only, just remember there is a something like this. If you see some specifications, documents, they will have written metallic construction. Okay, so that's why mostly we don't want customers to take any chances. So we always start with Q series, right? L series has been designed to be the most cost effective, but also, uh, like I said, people who do not want any additional features. Just I need a camera to do the monitoring with some basic analytics, and it should be WDR, true WDR. All that is okay. That's fine, and looks good. Small shape, everything is fine. Does the work. Okay. So for project levels, where driven by specs, driven by in terms of profiles, everything is the same except that it has some extra options. Okay. Now lens, fixed lens, varifocal lens, both are available in L and Q. But Q has option of motorized. Remotely you can adjust the lens. Okay. L, you have to manually go and adjust the lens. So it will take maybe for 100 camera, you will need additional 1 or 2 days to go and focus each camera. Q series, you can remotely do the focus adjustment. Next, analytics, motion detection, tamper detection available in L. Q, motion tamper, defocus, intrusion, line crossing, zone crossing. You draw a box, someone crossing that box, enter exit, available in Q. 6, security related focused analytics available built in Q. Okay. Camera shape, dome and bullet only. L, it has same as L type, dome and bullet, which is the Q series. Same dome bullet plus micro dome, fisheye, flat eye, which looks like this, and PTZ. So additional shape. So with your project having microdome cameras or it is having fisheye cameras, then you start with Q. We have a tool which will help you to do this, but if you can at least judge which series is good for you, you can do the right design for your project. Okay, because you can find 2 mega in L, you can find 2 mega in Q, you can find steam lens L and Q. So if your customer wants 2 mega fixed lens and both of them can comply, then you give them the option. I have a camera with additional features, which is Q series. I have a camera just meets your requirement at L series. Or if it comes back and tell you, I need all this additional features someone else is giving, yours don't have. Yes, we have Q, we have X, we have P, and so on. All right. Okay, and okay, here there is a question about metadata. You can get alarms, motion alarm, everything you can receive, but metadata is not there. Okay, in order to understand that metadata concept, this if you remember, okay, so here you're drawing a line and then you're searching metadata in this area. So if you want, if motion happened in the entire area, L series will do it. But Q series will tell you motion happened in the entire area and it exactly happened in which part of that area. Okay, it happened in the training room, but it happened at the storage area of the training room, or happened in this location. It happened near the gate. If you want that extra function, that is metadata, you start with Q series. If you just want to know motion detection in my scene, entire scene is a ballpark figure, you call it. Yeah, you can go to, you can also have L series do the same function. Okay. All right. Now let's compare. Now that we compared L and Q, now let's compare Q and X. Q and X. Q, X, same. Almost, except X series has additional 4K option, 4K resolution. In Q series, 4K is there in one or two cameras, fisheye and some cameras. So it will be coming up soon, but at the moment, very few models. So I have not put it. Then Net H265, both of them have Ystream, both of them have, even L series has Ystream 1, 2, no issue. Then construction IP66, all same. The difference is X series supports IP67. You can say not every project, actually not, you don't really need IP67 unless and until you you have a spec or you have a reason behind it. But otherwise, IP66 is good enough. Then IR range. If you need higher IR range, X series. Up to 30 meter, L series, Q series, okay, no issue. Your corridor 30 meter, your building perimeter 30 meter, no, it's good enough. But if you have perimeter projects 100 meter and you want as long as possible IR range, you start with X series. If you have PTZ camera with higher IR range, start with X series, right? So you get the idea. Then lens. There is no manual lens in X series. All are motorized. There is fixed lens, just like every series will have fixed lens, but manual lens is not available in X, only motorized. Then it has additional special lens, 5 to 62 mm long range lens, long range PTZ. Your Q series will have standard lens. What is standard? 3 to 10 mm, your usual coverage, as wide as possible and as narrow as possible for a typical project. What is narrow? 10-degree view. 10-degree. Imagine 10-degree field of view. It's very sharp view. Good enough in Q series. But if you want even more narrow view and very specific, very far distance you're trying to cover, you want identification. Some entrances are very far, some car entries very far, and so on. You can go with X series, special lens. Then analytics, all the analytics of Q available. Additionally, object removal, sound analytics, handover, defog, tracking, shock detection, which is not used for common projects, slightly critical projects, premium projects, you'll find it in X series. Okay, so there is now an interesting update in the X series. The X series now has artificial intelligence. Not all X, there is the standard X. In addition to the standard X, there are two additional series, X Core and X Plus. Both of them have artificial intelligence built in the X series. Okay, so that is something new that you have to keep in mind. X Plus has additional features like the X Plus architecture, magnetic module, slightly longer lens options, and so on. However, we will see more of that later on. Going forward, please remember there are now two series available with AI, the P series, which we will cover, as well as X series that also has artificial intelligence. What is the difference between AI in X and P? We will see in the coming slides. Okay. Then shape-wise, same as Q. Additionally, pinhole camera, transportation camera, box cameras, okay, stainless steel cameras, you'll find it in X. That's why it's called versatile series or extreme series. Just you can find a camera for any of the project in the world almost under X series. Not industrial, but generally any commercial project you can find it in X series. Even if we are launching a new product, we launch it under X series. So one of the widest options available is the X series. X versus P, very simple. Multi-direction, multi-sensor, panoramic. You can see here. Uh, Sorry, where is that slide? Okay, never mind. Let's just focus on the words. Anything to do with multi-direction, P series. Panoramic, P series. Then artificial intelligence that is available in P series. But as we saw earlier, even X series is having artificial intelligence. Now the difference between them is in the P series, you can identify search for person by face, gender, color of the shirt and pant. For the lady, same thing. Even for the car, you can search for the color of the car, type of the car. Whereas in the X series, you can search for the person, but you cannot search using color attributes, shirt color, pant color, or gender, male, female, and so on. Similarly, you can search for type of car, such as bus, truck, motorbike, so on. But you cannot search by color, which you can do in P series, but not in the X series AI. So X series AI is artificial intelligence analytics, greatly improving whatever existing analytics is there, maybe perimeter protection and so on. You can clearly defend your property by saying no humans are allowed because it can detect if a person is crossing the scene. All right, compared to traditional analytics is much, much, much more accurate. So you need more than one lens in the camera, go with P series. All right, next letter N is for IP and shape, dome, fisheye, bullet, one body camera. Then number six, six is not 6 mega, it is 2 mega. So this is also a common confusion. Uh, 6 is for 2 mega, starts from 6, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5 is 8, 4K is 9. Okay, commonly used 2 and 5 mega. So you can remember 6 and 8. Okay, next is 0.8 fixed lens. These all we hardly use, but yeah, it is available. We have lots of camera lens options. But 0.1 fixed lens, wide angle. Motorized 0.8, PTZ camera 30x 30, 32x 32, 2 digits, 50x 40x 40. All right, and R. We have lots of letters. Um, it's loading, so it depends on the camera. Mostly used for R, IR. Okay, now I'm going to make all this easier for you by going to our toolbox. Hanwha security. If you type Hanwha security in Google, search which website you should go to. Once you search Hanwha security, Hanwha CCTV, go to the website which has that dash in between. Hanwha dash security. It's the global website. If you find America, you don't need to go there. You can download camera datasheet, but they have some extra cameras. We have some extra, so there is some models which are only sold in US. Some models only sold in the Europe, and here global is where we all belong to. Global website. Okay, let's go. This is our website, hanwha-security.com. Now, once you go to the website, what do you need from the website? There are three things which you will require. One, if you put your mouse just over products, product naming rule. When you click here, you can find out what is X series, what is P for, what is 6 for, what is these two digit for, what is this, and so on. Okay. Second, you can go to catalog. You can keep a copy, very highly recommend to keep one copy with you. Total lineup, sorry, 2021. Okay, here you will find about Hanwha and so on. And product naming rule is here. camera MVF, motorized varifocal, 08, varifocal, 2 digits. Okay, PTZ. Okay, now that's okay. It starts with X series, higher model, keeps going down. Lots of cameras. You can see here we have at least 25, 30 pages of just cameras, thermal cameras. Okay. Now, next is if you know the camera model, there is one more option for you to find some extra details. So if someone gives you the camera model, you can type the model number directly. Then you can download certifications. Okay, I will open X and V, for example. So we have more example to show. Okay, X and V, let's say this one, certification. You can find its outdoor camera, 66, 67 certificate, UL, FCC, all the certificate. To update the camera, you can download the latest firmware. You can download the datasheet and 3D drawing to put in BIM, 2D drawing, AutoCAD, whatever features are available in the camera is here. Manual is here. What to supply to the camera, how to configure the camera, it's here. Okay, now let's see how to do another method is the toolbox. This is the full and final tool which you need to know. Okay, toolbox plus. Once you open the toolbox, you can start fresh. There is a tie button here, 3 dots, click new. Again, let me zoom in and show. Click new, start over. Then if ever any filters are here, for example, if any filters are here, you can also uh, reset all the filter. Okay, after this, step number 2, you can use global or Middle East region. If you are from any of the other regions, you can also use that. Okay, so I either use global or Middle East. So I find all my products in this region. Then all, you don't have to go to all, you don't have to go to analog or this or this or this. For camera training today, your focus should be network camera. Because the moment you select network camera, you can see a filter button. This is important tool for us. If you go to all, you don't find the filter button. You have to be in network camera to find the filter button. Okay, done. Now I'm going to do a couple of camera selections. Let's start with the easier one and then we go to the tougher one. Let's start with the 5 megapixel outdoor bullet camera. I will be comparing, there are some questions on X series, X Lite and all. I will answer that. Um, as we move forward, it will be the right time to answer. Okay, a 5 megapixel outdoor bullet camera. First question to you, okay, what is a lens? Maybe they'll say adjustable lens, or if they don't know, take adjustable lens. IR range, maybe 30 meter. Analytics, just a motion is okay. Or if they want someone crossing the line, okay, done. Okay, what else? Shape bullet lens is okay. IP66 outdoor, right? IP66 minimum. Now, what question comes to your mind? 5 megapixel. 5 megapixel L series you will not find. You can check here. L series 5 mega. There is L blank. So you start with Q series. Here we go. Q 5 mega bullet. Now you have so many options. Under this, you need IR, okay, adjustable lens. This is a key factor. Go here, scroll down. It's called motorized varifocal. You can select both. There is only one model selected. Okay, easy, right? Next, same thing, indoor. How to select now? You don't have to redo everything. Remove bullet, and you got your dome. Adjustable, all okay. Select these two. If you're not sure which one to take, compare them, you will get the differences in orange, Q series, dome, all are same except IR range is 30 meter, second one is 20 meter, aluminum, it's outdoor rating. Okay, so according to my requirement, I need 30 meter IR, IP66. So first one is complying, second one is not. Remove. Done. Okay, so you've done with your product selection for bullet and dome. What about, let's say PTZ? Okay, let's do one more in X series. Let's say they need more analytics. Someone leaving the object, or they need higher IR range. So let's say 50 meter IR. So above 30 means you go with X series. Okay, done. Now X series 5 mega. Okay, and you need let's bullet. Very easy. One. But what about dome? If you go dome, you start to see multiple options, right? Now this is where you have to you should know go with 0 version. Okay, 8081 higher version, 8081 RE extender version, 8081R. Okay, but still there's version 1. R 0 but RS stainless steel higher model. XNV 8080R. Okay, good. Then is there anything else? XND 8080R. Okay, good. Here also you have 8080RV extra letter not required. So now compare these two. Aluminum 30 IP66 IK10 IR range 50 meter, one is 30 meters. So I need 50 meters, right? So these guys have two SD card slots, a lot of power options. Basically, you never run out of feature when it comes to X series. So here we go. I go with X, X and V. Done. Now let's make it more complicated. I need a 2 megapixel dome in the X series. Dome. Okay. And adjustable lens, motorized varifocal lens. Okay. Here, if you select manual, there is no manual lens, so it's 0. So remove this. Okay, now you have a lot of options. Here you cannot compare. If you want, you can do, but it's a lot to compare. So go with the 0 and you want IR, right? So let's filter out more. Let's put IR also. Okay, now reduced. You have option here XND 6080R. Okay, select RV, REV, RV not required. Then there is one L6080R. Okay, I'm going to explain what is this extra letter. Only X series has this extra L, X light, because there are some customers who need X but a lighter version of X. So they want some special feature in X, but they also want lighter version. They don't need the analytics. So we'll see that. Here RV, skip X and V80, select all these, skip L. Okay. Now we're going to let's keep the spec minimum. Let's make it 30 meter. Okay. X light. X with an L is called X light. X light is same like Q. Okay. Think of it like a Q series. Um, but what's missing, we will see now. Okay, right now, let's do a comparison just for X versus X light. X versus X light. Compare. If you compare X with X light, it uses a lens which is slightly different compared to X. Good enough, still above 100-degree view. Um, 30 meter IR, okay, that's fine. Two SD card slot, one SD card slot, okay, no issue. Alarm inputs, no IO point, no input for relay contacts, okay. No audio input, no sound. Audio recording does not have in X Lite. Then PoE only, and no, okay, it's not a big deal now. It's indoor camera, PoE 12 volt. So this is the difference between X and X Lite. X is having two multiple power supply option. X is having two SD card slots, higher lens, and so on. Even if you take these two, compare outdoor X, IP66, 67, IP66 only, two SD card slot, one only, and what else? IR range, 50 meter, 30 meter. So it's like Q series, but it comes under X. Why? It is X Lite. Okay. Why? We will see now. If you compare X Lite with a Q series, let's compare equivalent XNV and QN. We'll take same or resolution QNV 6082. Compare. The only difference here is first X series has got 60 frames, Q series 30 frames. Some specifications they are asking for 60 frames. Maybe someone spec'd it from using some other brand, right? So you have to give 60 frame. Maybe they spec a higher requirement just to push to go with high-end product. So maybe you have to use X Lite, and maybe you don't need all the features of X, 15 analytics, dual SD card, X, multiple power supply option, IP60. Maybe you don't need any of that. You just need 60 frames. So there were some third-party vendors trying to, eliminate some competition by specking like this. Even they removed audio inputs, they removed relay contacts, but they will keep 60 frames. So everyone else will go to higher end model and they will be able to win the project. So what we did not sleep. We also released a product to comply to comply to the requirement and meet whatever is being offered at that pricing. So that this model was released purely because the customer said, see, I need 60 frames to comply, but I don't need all the features of X. So yes, we developed a model for that called X Lite, 60 frames. Okay, that's the only difference. Otherwise, 30 meter, 30 meter. In fact, Q series has got extra audio relay contact, but the frame rate, you will find that if that is uh, required, you can go with X Lite. Otherwise, there's no reason. It probably will become, uh, I mean, probably it will not be very popular anymore. Back then, X Lite was a good option, but nowadays things have moved on. Once artificial intelligence came and this X series is now, we will be launching all the X series models with artificial intelligence. With not every, we will have a huge number of models releasing this year with artificial intelligence, even in X series. Okay, we still have without AI because we still have many customers who don't need AI chip. So anyhow, having said that, um, sometimes you have to release models just to make sure the project is meeting the requirement at the most affordable pricing. So we have released X Lite. All right, so this is X Lite. It only comes in 2 megapixel. There's no 5 megapixel X Lite. There is no Q Lite. There's no P Lite. There's no L Lite. Only X is having the X Lite option. Okay. All right. Now remove this. I'm going to remove rest of the X. Okay. Now let's take a selection for a PTZ, 2 MB PTZ 35x or 36x zoom. How to select? Go with filter, Q series, PTZ, or sorry, just go with PTZ and you need IR, so you can select IR option. Okay, done. Okay, fine. All right, something missing here. Okay, never mind. So we have all the PTZs listed. The first two digit tells you whether it has zoom lens 30x, 25x, 25x, 30x. You need 36x. So in that case, look for 36. It's not there. You have nearest is 40, 40x. There are two models. You can add both and check what's the difference. With wiper, without wiper. Rest all same. With wiper, without wiper, rest all same. So that is one. If you need artificial intelligence camera, you can directly go to function AI. You'll find all the cameras. If you need multi-direction camera, you can select this. This is 5 mega into 4 channel, 4 camera, 5 megapixel. If you take some other camera like this, 2/5. 2/5 means you can choose any lens. For example, um, here you can find lens. Click on lens. You can choose 4 lenses for the camera. 2 mega 2.4 mm, 2 mega 2.8 mm, or you can choose 5 megapixel, 5 megapixel. So you can choose the lens for the camera. All right, done. Now click on calculate. Enter the quantity of camera to do the storage. Finish it off. 100, 100, 100, 100. There's one more thing I need to cover. Okay, number of days, 31 days. Okay, done. Then click on settings, resolution. You want to record 5 mega, leave it 5, otherwise reduce. H.264 or H.265. What is the frame rate? 15 frames. First two options we do not change, leave it as it is. This third one you have to change depending on the requirement. Currently it is recording continuously as well as motion based. Motion based from midnight or sorry from 11 p.m. to morning 10 a.m. So make it continuous, right? Same thing you have to do for rest of the camera. If you do multi-direction, I will do one. Select here, resolution okay, make codec H.265 better. If it is for office environment, you can activate voice stream, high, low, it's fine. And continuous recording, or let's say I want to do only motion recording, make everything motion. And from what time to what time, motion. Or you can make it continuous. Or if you don't know how, okay, or 12 hours motion. Some people want 50% of the day motion. Okay, so you can adjust. Done. Close. Okay, so this is your storage. What you have to do at least check the resolution, check the codec, frame rate, continuous recording. For multi-sensor cameras, you did one, but you did for only one channel. There are 4 cameras in multi-direction. What you can do is apply, copy the settings to other 4 channels. Copied. Now after all this, tomorrow if you want to add one more camera, you save the project. Save it as my project, Sam. Save. It will get saved here. You can open anytime, change 1 or 2 days, change add camera, remove camera, do everything. Now click on report. You'll find camera report. You'll find storage per camera, how much storage is required per camera, what is the consideration. Okay, you can take a quick PDF or you can take a printout. Then the last one is accessory. If you want to mount the camera, click on accessory. I want to mount it on the pole. So you need these two additional models, adapters to mount it on the pole. This purple is here, yellow is here. What about PTZ camera? Again, let's say PTZ, if you want to mount it on the pole or a wall, what accessory you can. You have many options, you can choose any one. So choose this or this, done. So all the accessories also will get added here. Which camera, which accessory. If you go to the report button, you can find the accessory report. You have the bandwidth report. You have the camera report. Okay, all together. Okay, you can upload your company logo. You can edit the camera name. You can edit this report as per your liking. Okay, so what is important here once again, make sure you start fresh, and if you already saved, open it. Make sure you're a network camera, check your region, because if you change the region, it will reset everything. Got it? So that's one. Then okay, then if you select any camera, calculate. Yeah, I can open it. Did I save? Yeah, I saved. Okay, so you can edit the quantity here. You have to check the day. You have to check resolution, codec, frame rate. First two, skip. check the motion recording. If it is continuous 24 hours, make it 24 hours. What else? You can check for the accessory. You want to mount it on the wall, what accessory you need. Okay, so this is how you work with our toolbox. All right, so how to do NVR, we will see part 2. How to do VMS, we will see part 3. So that's all for today, and hope it was useful. And if you have any further questions, please post it in the chat window. Okay, for the multi-sensor cameras or anything to do with lens, for example, box camera, lens. Because these cameras don't come with lens, you have to adjust or buy the lens accordingly. You can even buy third-party lens. This is one model, this is one model, this is one model. You can buy these lenses. Okay, but just make sure you go back to your region because some models you will find only in our region, some you'll find in US. So go with our region. Okay, multi-direction. If you take this multi-direction, there is no lens option because it is coming with built-in lens, 5 megapixel lens, adjustable lens. So you can click here and compare. You will find 4.1 to 9.4 mm lens, all of them already adjustable. But if you go to PNM 9000 VQ, this guy you can adjust the lens. You have to, you have to buy the lens. It will come as a blank camera base only. You have to choose. If you want only three, you can buy only three. If you want four, you can buy four lens. You can buy the same lens for all. Okay. Yeah, you can have some 5 mega, some 2 mega. And you can choose the focal length. Some 2.4, 3.6, 6 mm, 7 mm. So you can choose. This is 5 mega. This can be 2 mega. And you can do the calculation, storage calculation, and go to network camera, multi-direction. You can choose the resolution. This is 2 mega camera. This is 5 mega. Record at H.265, 15 frames. This is 15 frames. So on. Okay. 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 Good to know. So yes, this is how you quickly identify. And feel free to use Ystream to get the best out of your storage because none of the project people are moving every time. Everyone sleeps at night, so there is less movement at night time. Go ahead and try Ystream in your calculations like offices, hotels, schools. But if you're working for city surveillance where highways and so on, may not make a big difference, because it's always airports, always people moving. But where you can be better than others in storage, go ahead and use Ystream. Now, when you go through the quiz, if the quiz says Ystream to be used, then only you apply and do the calculation. In the quiz, if it says all other setting default Ystream is off. So you don't have to apply it when you're doing the calculation for the quiz. Okay, good. Thank you everyone for your time. And I hope this session was again useful, informative, and got a better clarity of our product lineup. And if someone gives you X series, you know what to expect. If someone gives you P series, you know why, PNM, multi-sensor, and so on. And if it is artificial intelligence, you will see one letter here called A. For example, artificial intelligence, you will see letter A. And but it doesn't matter. We will have more models coming in. Um, some may have A or not. But basically artificial intelligence. You can, if you want, you can just click on the filter and find out. Some customer want people counting, whether they just want one camera to do people counting. You can just check which all cameras have counting feature, and they want built-in mic. so on. All right, thank you. If you have any further questions, please feel free to post in the chat window. Okay, welcome.